The 2015 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee's recommendations, the first issued in 5 years, were submitted to the U.S. Departments of Health and Human Services (HHS) and Agriculture (USDA) early this year. The report helps form the basis of nutrition policy and programs based on the latest scientific evidence. According to this year's report, about half of all American adults, 117 million individuals, have one or more preventable, chronic diseases that are related to poor quality dietary patterns and physical inactivity, including cardiovascular disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes and diet-related cancers. In a letter accompanying the guidelines, Committee Chair Barbara Miller, DRPH, wrote, describes the U.S. diet as suboptimal, with few improvements in consumer food choices seen in recent years. Many of the key dietary recommendations in the 571-page report may not surprise you. The report stresses the importance of eating more vegetables, fruits, whole grains, seafood, nuts, legumes, and lower non-fat dairy. It calls for reduced consumption of red and processed meats, refined grains, added sugars, sodium, and saturated fat. However, this year's report introduces new recommendations and rethinks some previous guidelines. Significantly, it emphasizes overall, healthy dietary patterns, rather than specific ingredients. Sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars are not intended to be reduced in isolation, but as a part of a healthy dietary pattern that is balanced, as appropriate, in calories, the report reads. Rather than focusing purely on reduction, emphasis should also be placed on replacement and shifts in food intake and eating patterns. The committee revisits existing dietary guidelines, like the one for cholesterol. It was previously recommended that cholesterol intake not exceed 300 milligrams per day. The 2015 report drops the guideline, concluding that cholesterol is not a nutrient of concern for overconsumption. That does not mean the committee is recommending a high cholesterol diet. What it is highlighting is the fact that only a small percentage of cholesterol in the blood is diet-related. Regarding dietary fat, the report emphasizes optimizing types of fat consumed rather than total fat reduction. This is consistent with one of the keys to the Mediterranean diet's success. Eating fat is not necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's the right kind of fat. The healthy monounsaturated fat found in nuts, avocados, and olive oil, for instance, can boost brain and heart health while helping you feel full. Once a review process that includes comments from the public and federal agencies is completed, the HHS and USDA will issue the official 2015 guidelines. Next milestone, an ambulance that fast-tracks stroke.